in this edition of Artistic Horizons. A multimedia high school concert experience.
We have a lot of talent here that in the right situation we actually get to see put together and do something really cool together on stage.
The art of face painting.
It's just always something different, and it never gets boring, and it's always fun and colorful and exciting. I love it.
A film about a visionary music producer.
I didn't want to be anyone that had any type of pull in the project because I wanted it to be as realistic as possible.
Detroit is where techno was created.
Highlighting a pivotal moment in Beatles history.
The goal of our exhibit was to make it an immersive experience, bring you closer to the Beatles.
It's all ahead on this edition of Artistic Horizons. Hello, I'm Mark Cenero, and this is Artistic Horizons. In this segment, we get an inside look at the making of Songs of Sanctuary, a multimedia concert experience put together by the students of Paiute High School in Utah. Featuring singing, dancing, and video, the performance was a success thanks to the contributions of each participant.
The big why behind these shows is to give our students as much real-world experience that we possibly can. I know a lot of singing students over the state and even outside of the state, and they're wonderful at their job and they get together in their choirs, and then a very, very small select handful of those actually do it at an industry level, singing backup for various singers and understanding what, and not only here's how you create a good sound, but here's what's expected of you as far as timing and preparation and understanding what the tech integration into your job description in that show means to you. So we try to take that and bring it into the classroom so the kids get a little bit more experience than just, hey, I know how to sing with another group of people. The Songs of Sanctuary multimedia performance really is what it sounds like. It's a collection of songs that celebrate the different areas where we find many people look for sanctuary. So sanctuary in nature, sanctuary in family, sanctuary in community. And we use each one of those themes to help build the material for each of these songs that are part of an original album. The album was called Songs of Sanctuary by a composer named Carl Jenkins. So we take this album and we assign each one a theme, and that theme helps us build a dance, helps us build a video project that celebrates that, and that is kind of the foundational element for what we're hoping to what message we're trying to give to our audience during the performance.
This year's project has been really fun. It's great to get to collaborate with the choir and to bring in some different music and different genre that my dancers aren't necessarily used to, and kind of take them out of their comfort zones just a little bit and teach them some new things and have them experience some other parts of the art of dance, and to be able to have it with the live singing and have the whole experience just really helps teach them new things and new skills. This year we chose to have the pieces that they will be performing in the show tonight are actually student choreographed. And so they're not pieces that I or my assistant director choreographed. We counseled and gave guidance, but the students really worked together to come up with the choreography that they felt fit the music that they were going to be performing to. So it's been a very fun, growing and learning experience for the students.
Tyrell approached me at the beginning of the school year and said that him and our dance teacher, Carol Springer, wanted to put together a Christmas concert. He wanted to, this year, involve the dance group and have them be doing some interpretive dancing during the concert. And I said, I think that sounds like a great idea. So I'm excited about it. With a small school, it's really important that we collaborate a lot, and we have to. You know, small school is a blessing and a curse. And so being able to have the kids work together on projects is just something that we do a lot of, and it's just a good thing to do. I think number one, first they learn teamwork. You know, we have all the sports and the activities that kids participate in, and I think they learn a lot about teams and working together. But sometimes in the arts, we don't think about a collaboration and teams so much. So I think this has given those kids a really good opportunity to collaborate, work together, learn how important it is to work with each other and how important it is to be on a team.
So one of the great benefits that I think the students get from this is that they can see that they can have input, and they're not just having to learn what either I as the director or the choir teacher has to give them, but that they really can input their life experiences and things that they have maybe been involved in outside of this or have seen, and that they, because they contribute it, they take a little pride in it and they can present it confidently. And that's the one thing I've really loved with this project, is at first you're taking the kids what they feel like is completely out of their comfort zone, and they're like, we can't do this, which is actually their words to me at the first when they start listening to it is, we can't do this. And I just keep encouraging them to listen and to try, and pretty soon they find that their bodies are starting to move to the music, and they're like developing the choreography, and they don't even realize it. And so then when you start putting it all together on the stage, they're like, oh, we did this. And so it's just a great confidence, and I think it teaches them life skills, that there's gonna be days they're gonna see something that's hard and that they don't think they can do, and hopefully they look back and go, oh, but I remember I can do hard things.
Our choir kids sound amazing. For being a small 1A school that has little access to private voice lessons or even private instrument, any other kind of music exposure, we have a really good sounding group. We have amazing dancers. So we have a lot of talent here that in the right situation we actually get to see put together and do something really cool together on stage, which is why we love something like the Songs of Sanctuary show so much. But my all-time favorite experience as an instructor is when students finally catch the vision of what we are trying to accomplish. And some of them catch it early, months early even, especially on this project. Some of them understood what they were getting into. Some of them don't catch it till that panic sets in about 10 minutes before the show. And some of them don't catch the vision until after they've seen everything and look back and go, actually, that was kind of a cool experience. But in each case, the light bulb that comes on is always my favorite.
And now for the artist quote of the week. Artist Ashley Cassell-Bozarth loves to render temporary works of art. As a face painter, she transforms faces into one-of-a-kind creations, including animals and characters. We visit Florida to find out more.
I really have an affinity for art that's just not permanent. I'm Ashley, and I'm an artist, and I'm a face painter. Face painting is a walking and breathing art. It's an easy, temporary way to express and have fun. I would say the thing I enjoy the most about being a face painter is that not every day is the same. I have my steady gigs where I'm at a zoo. Hi, how you doing? Or I'm at an aquarium, or I'm at a museum or a birthday party. Outreach events where it just makes those kids' days to just be something like a superhero for a day. That's amazing to them. I face painted at a birthday party for a dog once. I didn't face paint the dog. It was the kids at the party. They all wanted dog designs, but it was a really fun thing to walk into. Then I get really special ones. I get maternity paintings.
We decided to do a Halloween-themed baby shower, and our theme is kind of like a baby is brewing and there's a witch on it, so I was going with witchy. And then I decided to let her have full creativity of what she wanted to do with my belly, and she did wonderful.
It just makes everyone so happy, and I get to express myself, and in some way I get to help them express themselves too.
I love it, oh my God.
It's just always something different, and it never gets boring, and it's always fun and colorful and exciting.
My favorite color is green, so it fits me as a person, so it makes me feel more confident.
I have a very creative family, and it's all different types of arts. But my first love, I would say, was chalk drawing, and the lack of permanence to it.
So the colors are very vibrant, the animals look like what we've asked for. It's recreating, realities, and it's using imagination, and it's fun.
I would say that face painting is a living art. I mean, you're walking around with it, you're experiencing that. You're getting to kind of step outside of yourself. Specifically, the kids love it. It just helps them open up, and it's beautiful to see that if they want to be a tiger, the minute you show them that face painting, that you turn them into a tiger. I love that. I'm such a cartoon fan, and I think that's why I connect with kids on that level. Enjoy it. Take a picture of it. It lasts longer. I get to create art, and that art is fun, and I get to connect with people, and just it makes people happy, and it makes me happy.
It's very sad, all the hard work that gets put into it. It's going to be hard for me to take it off after loving it.
Now here's a look at this month's fun fact. The film Desire, the Carl Craig story, which had its world premiere at the 2024 Tribeca Film Festival, tells the story of Carl Craig, a visionary Detroit-born music producer who embraces electronic music and its creative possibilities. We head to New York City to learn more.
One of the guys from Massive Attack in the UK, he talked about Bristol and why Bristol made all that music, because they only had like 4 television stations, nothing else to do. So what are you gonna do except for make music? And Detroit is like that. For the Midwest, there's a lot of that making your own fun for yourself, and you really engage a lot in your skills, your musicianship. And Detroit's at a point where it's revered just by name. You know, you mentioned Detroit and you know, the ideas, the eyes brighten up, especially people from France and England and Germany. You know, it had just been a shame that you didn't get the same reverence from places within the United States.
We are so much better in Detroit about talking about Motown, talking about Aretha, and talking about Eminem, even talking about jazz. And techno, the world's most popular music right now, somehow slides under the radar for a lot of Detroiters.
Like, I know it has Desire, Carl Craig, but I feel like it has about a lot of Detroiters in their stories.
Nah, I don't know how to describe this brother. Put it in your mix. Throw some tequila in there. You know, and then you gotta season a little Detroiter. I know it's tough. It's tough, but you're gonna have to pick up just a little bit of dirt there. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. And then you mix it up, and you pour you a nice glass of Carl Craig.
They followed me for a little bit over a year, and I decided early on I only wanted to be a subject. I didn't want to be anyone that had any type of pull in the project, because I wanted it to be as realistic as possible.
Detroit is where techno was created. If you didn't know, now you know. Are you proud to be from Detroit? Hell yeah! I'm proud to be from Detroit.
Carl has always been an innovator of music. You know, Detroit is techno, and we start with the techno. Carl had a different twist on it, and he always put his foot into something different to make everyone recognize that this is Carl Craig.
And the idea of like being embedded in the culture of Detroit music, it isn't like a question you ask, when did you hear Motown? Because you grew up with it. So with Carl, I grew up with it, and then I realized, oh, it was Carl all this time.
I realized that I grew up with this music, and I grew older with this music, and this music grew older, but it's still like you still have 20-somethings dancing to that music.
The director, he really made that message of a mother's love for her son shine so much. So give my mom a hand, please. I was watching Air, that Michael Jordan movie. They say if you want to get to Michael, you got to go through his mama. My mom would have done the same exact thing. She would have got in there and said, you know what, look, you guys are going to make a lot of money off of this. My boy's got a lot of talent, and you got to pay correctly. And for her to say, hey, I got this little bit of cash, you know what, go mad. That was an investment in me that I don't even know if she knew was gonna last.
You know, I should be crying right now, because it feels like that emotional moment. It feels like I should be up here crying. But since they were saying that I make the synthesizers cry, then let's. Play some selections.
I was really into music, and my parents didn't have any understanding of what the possibility was with it. You know, get a regular job, you know, forget about the music thing. And it just wasn't happening. Because the post office is a totally fine job. Just like in Hollywood Shuffle, she says, go and get yourself a job at the post office. No matter what the situation was, I don't think I could have been a guy at the post office getting chased by dogs. Part of being your own man is that you have to accept the highs and the lows. I had to give it my all, or, you know, give me liberty or give me death, you know?
And now, here's a look at a few notable dates in art history. Up next, we take a look at the immersive Beatles exhibition, Get Back to Let It Be, located at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio. The exhibit spotlighted a pivotal moment in the band's history through priceless artifacts and remarkable footage.
We got a behind-the-scenes look at the new Beatles exhibit from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that aims to help visitors get back to a pivotal moment in rock history. More than 4 years in the making, this immersive experience was curated to complement Peter Jackson's 2021 docuseries, Get Back.
We hit upon Get Back, Peter Jackson's docuseries, as a very worthy project that we could curate and build an exhibit that would complement his epic docuseries.
It's footage that was shot originally, Michael Lindsay Hogg, for the Let It Be film, which was a period, it was a piece, a moment in time that was captured and delivered. But the chance for a filmmaker today to rewatch the raw, sort of see a different story within it. And then what it comes back to is, you know, you're telling a story, he's telling a story of these 4 artists that we all know so well, but he's giving you a different view.
The exhibit brings you into the studio during rehearsal sessions with the Beatles and puts you right on the rooftop for that legendary 1969 concert, the last public performance of the band.
The goal of our exhibit was to make it an immersive experience, bring you closer to the Beatles during that period in '69 than ever before.
And then the other is they're larger than life. So on screen, they're bigger than you or I, and you really feel it, and it transports you in a magical way. The rooftop concert at Apple, that was the Beatles' final public performance as a band, and we want you to feel as if you're on the rooftop with them.
Because it just feels like you are really there on top of the rooftop, the way that, like, the TV curves around like that, and the sound, like, I mean, I don't know if you saw me over there, I was like bopping, I was like, oh my gosh, like, it feels like I'm there.
We're on the rooftop in London. That was amazing.
And just the fact that it was the last performance that they had, and that people just came out of their offices and the one guy was annoyed, you know.
Walking through the exhibit, you can see instruments, manuscripts, records, and clothing that were used by the Beatles, all loaned directly from Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and the estates of George Harrison and John Lennon.
How amazing is it that that stuff survived 50-some years? Usually that should have been thrown out.
Well, with the Beatles, they realized in the moment how much history they were making, and they did keep a lot of things. Everything in this exhibit has been meticulously maintained and documented.
Seeing Rocky, George's guitar, was probably my highlight. Ever since I found out about Rocky and him painting that, I got super excited, and when I saw they had it here, I got thrilled.
I thought it was cool seeing John Lennon's glasses in person. I didn't think they would have that here. I was surprised at that.
I think it's amazing that we're half a century later, we're still not even relevant. Music actually gets better when you listen to it 50 years later.
The time with my son and seeing his smile as he's watching the rooftop band, that was great.
Now, it's been over 50 years for this, 60 years since the Beatles auditioned, I believe, for EMI. Why are we still talking about this?
You know, it's the most impactful, iconic band in history, is one of the reasons. The other one is the catalog is still vibrant. People are still loving it and listening and using it. And I know it sounds like a cop-out, but it's the Beatles. You know, it's the Beatles. So that's why we're still talking about it. They're still hyper-relevant. And I think that still admired by musicians and fans, and then it's generations upon generations. So there's this incredible connective tissue that the Beatles bring to the world of music.
And that wraps it up for this edition of Artistic Horizons. For more arts and culture, visit WPBSTV.org. Until next time, I'm Mark Sonero. Thanks for watching.